today's seminar session. So today we are pleased to be joined by somebody who's very familiar with the school, Anthony Nanda. He's an alum of our school, currently at Microsoft. So I think we'll get started. I can see the minimum who joining, but in the interest of time, I think we can get started. So as much as this is an online session, we expect that you will be highly engaged and interactive, able to ask questions, able to respond, so that we ensure that it's an interesting as well as a learning experience. So without further ado, I think allow me to introduce Nanda. He's called Prof. Nanda. He'll tell us about the genesis of that name. So Nanda, kindly you can get started by just telling us a little bit about yourself, your history with SCI. Now we're known as we're a department, so we're now DCI. DCI, unfortunately. Oh, you can't hear us. Okay, so we'll wait for you to join. Okay, so let's wait for Nanda to join. So I hope, have you guys been, has the presentation date been confirmed? It's supposed to be tomorrow. Has there been any formal communication? Who's there?
Yeah.
Yes, Ajuma?
It has been moved to 9.
It has been moved to 9.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Nanda, can you hear us now?
Yes, now I've fixed it. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So I think you can get started and introduce yourself, introduce the topic, and basically run the session as you see fit. Karibu.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Am I clear enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so great. Let me share my screen and then. Yeah, but even as I share my screen, I'm glad to be here. Sort of back to school. I'm an alumni of the School of Computing. So I'm glad to be back, and I hope soon we'll be able to meet in person. So let me present. Yeah, so as I understand is that the course is CSC 418, Emerging Technologies Bootcamp. And we have a number of facilitators. Myself, I'll be handling containerization as one of the emerging technologies. Like I say, it's been emerging. It's not like a new technology, but it's still like one of the technologies that have stayed the test of time, given that the tech scene changes very fast. Yeah, so my agenda today is very simple. Today is like a first sort of meet and greet, just meeting you folks, getting to understand where you're at, any questions, field any questions from you, and any discussion that we can have as we lay like down the plan for the whole program. So I'll start off with introductions. Oops, I lost my presentation again. Sorry about that. So my name is Anthony Nanda. I'm a senior software engineer here at Microsoft. Actually, I'm taking this call from Microsoft. We're not very far from the SCI school. We're just here at Westlands, a place called Dunhill Towers. If you know Radisson Parkin or the One Africa building, the one that looks like an egg, we are not really far from it. So I work on a team called Windows Containers Core, and we deal mainly, our team is a section of that bigger team that is mostly based in the US, but for us here, we deal with open source technologies that help Microsoft Windows work well in the open source world. So we talk of things like BuildKit. That BuildKit is the tool that actually I work on myself. And sometimes I do contribute to Containerd, but not a lot. But my team members, my other team mates, they contribute to Containerd and also Kubernetes. And by the way, in case you'll be hearing some things for the first time, don't panic. We are here to learn, and most of these terms are just, they can look big, but at the end of the day, they're just simple technologies that do stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's about solving a problem. Yes, a little bit of my background. Previously, I've worked, before Microsoft, I worked with Andela, like in that order. Before Andela, I was at the University of Nairobi at the C4D lab. I think all of you must be knowing the C4D lab. I was there. Actually, I'm proud to say that I was the first employee of the lab. Actually, I was employed by Dr. Wanjiku here, and we were working as we were setting up the lab way back in 2013. Until 2012, late, and then 2013. And then I also previously had co-founded Devent when I was actually a student at the university. The company is still running, but I'm not involved in the day-to-day like running of the company. Yeah. Then also I worked as a freelancer, basically just meaning building things like mostly websites. I used to build websites a lot. I wish I would do like more complex things looking back, but that's what was paying the bills then. But for you, I will actually encourage you not to. Websites, I think now we are getting like past that now. I think we can build maybe more complex stuff. Yeah, but that's sorry for another day. And also, while at the school, actually, I had a chance to work with the Nokia labs at second year. This is just like luck. We had this program where we were working with the Nokia lab. Now Nokia is not, I don't know if you guys know Nokia. Okay, Nokia has come back with some phones now, but way back in the days, Nokia used to be bigger than Apple, bigger than any other phone company. And we were building for them some stuff to work with their phones then. Yeah, and altogether, looking back, I'm like 21 years since I wrote my first Hello World, but maybe 15 years thereabout doing like industry experience. But those first years were just tinkering with things, learning on my own. This one basically I'm talking about right from high school at Form 2. That's when I picked computer studies. So I was again lucky to go to a school that was offering computer studies. At first, in Form 1, I was convinced to do music. I'm still a musician. I love music on the side. So I went into music. But when I was comparing notes with my classmates who were doing computer studies, then I was just feeling I was missing out on something. So I had to go and convince my principal to admit to like agree that I'd be admitted to computer studies even after missing the Form 1 content. So I had to catch up on the Form 1 content, and then luckily it went well for me. So that's how my journey actually started. So I feel like that beginning points were really important to my journey. It really helped me to stay on the path. I already had made up my mind that I'll do computer studies, whether I get A or B. I just said that even whatever the university will be, whether it's Masinde Muliro, that's like one that is close to my home, or whatever that my grades could take me, as long as I'm doing computer science, that was what I made up my mind to do. Luckily, I scored an A and came to the University of Nairobi. Yeah, and that's how my journey moves. As I said, I'm an alumni of SCI. I know right now you call it DCI. I don't know if there's any conflict of naming now that you know. So DCI is the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, but at our time we used to call it School of Computing and Informatics. So I was there 2008 to 2012. Then I stayed back working at the C4D lab while doing my master's. I dropped out from my master's in 2015 and tried to come back 2018. It didn't work out. And then lastly, last year, I came back and finished my project. So yeah, at least I think I did master's for 10 years. I was almost being deregistered, so it's a very long story, but I'm glad that I actually got to finish my master's. Yeah, and I love just computer science in general. I would like to pursue the field further, maybe sometime later. Just trying to weigh my options right now. Yeah. More information about me, I have like a small website you can read, like stuff that I write on. I do some more other things on like podcasting, music. I don't post a lot of my music stuff online, but maybe hopefully soon I'll start posting them. Yeah. So jack of all trades, so to say. Yeah. So I wanted to take it over to you. I will. And by the way, sorry if I'm sounding a bit tardy. I had less sleep yesterday night. Let me minimize this. I can't see the chat, so I can be able to see the chats. Yeah, feel free to put anything on the chat. If you have any question, you can, and you don't want to interrupt me, you can put it on the chat. I'll be able to pick it up. So I'm going to pick on people. Like I'll just go to the login and check. Okay. Why are you debugging my sleep? Oh, tonight night. No. That's interesting. Okay. What is Nokia doing with phones now? I think Nokia is doing mostly. They have smartphones that are doing they're on Android, but way back Nokia used to have its own operating system for the phone. And then, of course, they are good with the Mulika Muizis, these feature phones. I think I used to have one just until recently. It's a good like phone that can take you long with good battery life. Yeah. So yeah, now that those not to punish those who have a child, send me chat, but I want to start with those people to to say something. Yes. That's very true, Dr. Anjiko. That Professor Agasha was the one actually, and Dr. Orwa then they were actually leading this effort. So they selected a few of us from second year. Actually, we were just finishing our first year, going to second year, the long holiday. So we stayed on the long holiday. We were working with some third years, some fourth years. So it was a lot of good knowledge transferring. I think it's something that maybe you're missing right now because of like COVID times and all that. But I hope you are trying to make use of anything that you have right now to create good connection with everyone around you. When you say do more complex things, give some example. Yeah. This is Bryson. Bryson, how are you? I know Bryson. I didn't know that you're already at fourth year already. Like we were talking the other, was it like 2 years ago or a year? Okay, good to hear from you. So yeah, I was saying it's okay to do websites, but don't dwell on it like for long. Like one of them, if I have any regrets, I don't think I have regrets, but let's say if I had any regrets, would be that I did a lot of that like for long. So I was a generalist doing a lot of web stack things. So I've just gotten to start doing low level, what maybe quote unquote low level system engineering things around 2019 when I was doing in Microsoft. But I was mostly doing full stack web development, so backend, Node.js, Python. Yeah, so there's places for those. But again, just take your time. Yeah, it's a step at a time. You should never be in a hurry. But whenever have a chance, you shouldn't waste that chance to learn and go for the complex stuff. The stuff that people fear, like whether it's like kernel programming. Some of them don't have maybe a market locally, but you don't. If you really love that kind of stuff, don't limit yourself because nowadays the world is as flat as they keep saying. You could get jobs even with the remote companies. You don't have to actually even fly to the US to work with the US companies or whichever companies that are doing maybe what people might call deep tech. Yeah, so don't just limit yourself to very basic stuff that even if it pays the bills. Yeah. I hope that may be answered. Indeed, that's a very good point that Doc has raised. Now, websites, actually, you can, I wish we had time. Actually, we will do a website right now with you. We just open ChatGPT and we build a website with you right now. A quick one. So, yeah, so things that AI will easily pick up. So, yeah, AI is, I think, is another, I know there's another course you're going to talk on LLMs and stuff like that. But it's maybe later on we can have some open discussion of people keep saying, will this take up programmers' work and stuff like that? Yeah, so I think it's a yes and no, but I don't want to go into the details, but it's a yes and no. It depends. Like some of the very mundane, easy tasks, this AI stuff, we're going to take it up. Even the complex stuff it can do, but there's that thing about explainability of AI. So we need someone to explain what it's doing. And I guess we can't leave it for it to explain itself. You can't tell whether it's correct or not. So someone has to know the stuff. So you knowing the foundations and fundamentals is very important. As much as you might not even apply those foundations, but are really good even in new poking holes into these systems that are doing stuff to understand whether they are correct or they're just hallucinating or something like that. So you won't even know that they're hallucinating if you didn't know the foundations or the technology. So yeah, but myself, I use it a lot in my work. I ask questions. If something is not making sense to me, I could probe it. Yeah, sometimes I've forgotten maybe a format of how you call a particular function. I could ask it, okay, or maybe I have a bug. I could put that bug report there, and then it could give me some hints. But all I need is just hints. It doesn't have to do the stuff for me. I just need it to give me, like, it's like almost like you're bouncing off a problem with a colleague. So if it gives me some hints, and then I can pick those hints and run with them. Yes, Kithaka, what's your opinion on the tech that working at startups, one goes more as a developer than a company like Microsoft? Wow, that's a really controversial question, but a very good question that I keep like discussing with my colleagues here. So this is my take, and this is not like Microsoft's Microsoft stand, but this is my take. I believe that it can be detrimental to your growth if you came straight from campus to Microsoft. But it's a yes and a no. It depends on the kind of person you are. If you're the kind of person who will not be satisfied by the things that you do here at Microsoft and you will want to venture into knowing more about, let's say, business, how do you run a business, how do you do sales, like basically you're adventurous trying to open up your mind, you will actually succeed with that. But let's say if you come here and you just focus on your job will be very clear. Like all you need is maybe, actually, so let me give you an example. Like if the interface, I don't know which kind of interface you're seeing on your Google Meet, but Google Meet is not our product, but we have products close to Google Meet. So at Microsoft, you might have just one team dealing with just that chat button, that chat, not button, but the chat frame that you're seeing on your screen. That's just one team, maybe with even 20 engineers. So you can imagine if all you know is how to do the chat synchronization and all that kind of stuff, and maybe the back end, you'll just be limited to that. But in a startup, you build whole features, you will redo features, you'll move fast. Here, things move a little bit slower because companies that are stable, they don't want to go fast. And one small hitch can cause a lot of problems. Like you've heard of some issues we've had, like things like CrowdStrike. I don't know if some of you heard about the story of CrowdStrike. I think it was a big story in the news. It wasn't a problem to do with Microsoft, but it's something that you can see a small thing that can cause a big company like even loss of revenue. So they want to do like quick and move fast, but they want to be very slow and not very slow, but they want to be slow and stable and make sure that nothing is breaking. So yeah, so it's a yes and no. But a clear yes is going to, if you have a chance to get us to a startup, you don't have to just stay trying to apply to Microsoft and you're just saying, oh, that's my dream job. No, you can get into a startup and learn a lot, learn like architecturing, basically apply yourself. And then later on, you can transition to like a bigger company like Microsoft. Now, with that knowledge, you'll be able to grow even much better. Yeah, but it's a yes and no. If you get a job, don't say no, don't turn it down. You can come and really make good use of it. But it can actually be, can work against you if you don't know how to handle it. All right, thank you, Kennedy. Okay, I would like, so there's some stuff I wanted to know about you folks. Let me, because at least I know Bryson. I met with Bryson, and so just quick one. In terms of, I have a poll here that I'm going to send. Maybe I could be asking as I give you the link to the poll. Let me just get the link. You can just be filling. It's a very simple anonymous poll. Just need you to tell me, like, I want to just gauge where you are, the kind of knowledge you have on this stuff, so that I know how to test my content. So just take that link and answer the questions. Okay. Onyama, I ask, talk a little bit about your experience at Devent. Yeah. So Devent is a startup we started with a friend of mine. He was actually, we went to the same high school, but he went to Kabarak. So our time, it was very interesting. We used to have a 2-year gap where we just chill at home. And before we joined university, I think some of you joined university right after high school. I'm not really a fan of that approach, because it's like just the education improving like a conveyor belt. People are just trying to push you through the system, like to get you out. But I think that 2-hour gap, 2 years gap was good. It was almost like 2 years, but exactly like 1-point-something years gap, because you finished school in December 2006. I joined university in September 2008. So you can see it's almost 2 years, right? So those 2 years were really good at helping me like learn more other things and even just firm up my belief that of the course that I want to do. Not like some people, maybe some of you maybe found yourself to computer science by COOPS just placed you in CS and maybe you didn't like it, but now you have to deal with it now. But for us, we had that chance to just think about your career. Of course, during that time, I was being really pushed to do medicine because everyone believed then during our time, like if you have scored an A, you have to do medicine. Yeah, but I digress. So my co-founder Martin went to Kabarak. So he went straight. He didn't stay 2 years. So he finished a little bit earlier than me. So he finished 1 year earlier. So when he came to Nairobi, I was doing my other gig. That time I was running another like outfits. There's a briefcase outfit called iTech 2020, and he was running us another one. So we had done over time. A number of us had done some websites, and so we combined our efforts together and started this company called Devent. Yeah, so that was like 2012. That's when we were like registering it officially. But previously, it was just running as a briefcase company. Yeah, so my experience there, I think, was, of course, I was working there as a CTO. I was the one ahead of helping choosing technology. So, well, for example, way back, we used to work with a PHP framework called CodeIgniter. So when Laravel was coming on the scene, so I was the one in charge of trying to explore some new technologies and advice, like, okay, maybe our new client, when we should do it to Laravel. We should use maybe Vue.js or use React. So just giving like advisory, and sometimes, most times I played mostly with my advisory role because I was actively working at the C4D lab then. So I was just mostly just giving advisories. I don't think I ever did any projects. Most of my projects I did them actually when I was an undergrad. which is again another story for another day. Like I will advise that it's not really like the best thing I could have done, but because of my background, I needed some money to just make my life easy in Nairobi. So I had to do those projects. So sometimes working overnight, translating, then you have to go to class. You're sleeping. I don't know if Dr. Ganga ever saw me sleeping in your class, but I don't know. So, but I used to doze off a lot.
I can answer that and say that even if you were dozing, at least when you woke up, you had a sensible question to ask.
So, yeah, but so I can say, if let's say you have your parents can actually sustain you in campus, it's better to actually be here and learn as much as possible. Like, because the lecturers don't have to spoon feed you everything. All they need is to point you to the right things. Like, okay, there's something like this, there's something like this. Then it's you to go into the details. Sometimes people keep complaining about like, oh, university, they don't teach us about Python, they don't teach us about all these things are just applications that you can learn on your own. But whatever you're learning is really, really fundamentals. Things like automata theory, things like compiler constructions, operating systems, assembly language. Those are like foundations that never change. So don't be saying like, oh, I had like some people maybe in Strathmore that are doing Python, they're doing whatever thing, flashy thing then might be. So if you really know how to translate the theory into the practice, you really be well. So I would prefer that actually during your long holidays, you be trying now to transfer the theory into the practice, working on like open source things, maybe looking into some reading up things, stuff like what we're going to do in this bootcamp for emerging technologies. But now the problem is that I'm talking to people that it's too late. You have how many months to close school? It's okay, but you have you don't have to. It's never actually too late. I'm saying too late, but it's never too late, because you can actually make up. You can make it up. Like even right after graduation, you can go back and start learning those things, and that's what I did actually. After like the thing that I really loved, I was going back to them and trying to learn like what's really like. Even I still have books, CS books. I wish maybe you know, seeing is believing, seeing is believing, right? Let me just open a doc and I show you the books that I read, and you'll see that I'm not lying. Okay, so actually that was my almost my last slide. So let me just open the. Let me get this. You see my Google Drive. Yeah, I work here at Microsoft, but I still do Google Drive. That's what I've been using for a long time, so I had to. So you can see, I looked at like, for example, this X is the Berkeley X program. They had very good algorithm like course. This is way back. Like look at this, 2017, and I graduated 2012. So you see, whereas of course this was during masters. This was like leveling up on operating systems. This book is an old, like maybe you might see it in the library. This operating system, I think, is it Tanumba or not Tanumba? But there's another one, but Tanumba. But this I was trying also to read it a little bit. I don't think I ever like read a lot, but it was just more of references. C++, I had to level up on C++. And you can see all these things, 2019, as I told you, that's when the time I'm trying to go into like system programming. So you might want to, like, I know you are a generalist, but over time you can find things that are exciting you. Maybe actually this bootcamp is a good one to even transition into things that excite you. You might find that stuff that we talk about today, maybe in this container stuff, maybe they don't excite you. That's still okay. Maybe, for example, LLMs, NLP really excite you. That's the area now you want to go into, learn about transformers, learn about neural nets, and all that. Yeah, you can see Python, becoming a better programmer, design patterns. This they don't teach in school, and you can't. But they're just OOP concepts like extended. Yeah, that time the time I was a manager for 2 years. No, I was a manager for more than 2 years at Dell and also at Microsoft for 2 years. So I was trying to read about management, like how do you manage people. So this book just talks about like how you do recruitment, how you, yeah. So learning never stops. Learning never stops. So I just wanted to show you that like learning never stops. So it's not too late to get basically your act together, right? Even if you've not been serious for the 4 years. Yeah.
Can I just forgive my eyes, but I wanted to ask about the design patterns. Which ones do you usually find yourself falling back to? I've seen people talking about factories, chain of responsibility.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it depends on the project, but it's a very good question. That those that are prominent, which one is the better? Let's see if this is better. Let's zoom. I didn't zoom in. But then also I have a tendency of getting to a rabbit hole. I needed to step at 12 to go for my son's doctor's appointment. So let me know if I get lost, and because this is a question that we can handle later on. But yeah, maybe what I can say is it's a good question. Those that out of course there are like 21, right? 21 patterns, right? But those that emerge mostly over time. Let me see if I can find the one that I shared first was a good.
It's above Addison Wesley.
Oh, this one, right? Thank you. Good. So let me zoom in a little bit. So you find like I even I've never actually used like this mem. Factory is very common. You like produce factory is very common. Build like is common. Proxy common. Adapter very much common, because you want to adapt like this client to this other client and make an adapter that basically just converting an API into another API. Yeah, so those that emerge most of the times. Strategy, I've never actually used that. State, really important. Even those who have done React, that's like state pattern. Observer, very important and still much in use in like making reactive applications, because they react to events. This case is event driven, but Memento I've never actually used. Yeah, so yeah, it depends, and sometimes actually you can use something that is a mixture of a number of them, not just one. It could be like a mixture of a bridge and an abstract factory. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and these books are okay. They're pirated, but you can get them. I can. If you like me to share with you, I can share with you. I can clean up and remove some things that are not really important to you, and share this folder. I think this folder I used to share with people. Yeah. Sorry, I missed the chat. I don't know if there's any other question in the chat as we close up.
Yes, so Nanda was suggesting if you can just do just an overview of containerization for the sake of maybe those who this might be something totally new, so that they understand what to expect.
Okay. Thank you for that. Because actually, I was losing my train. So thank you. So let's see. Okay, so I'll look at the poll. The poll is not it for me to check later on. So I hope everyone has filled the poll, please. It will be really important for me to know now how I pace my stuff. But I want to actually talk about the plan. So today, don't worry about, like, even today, you don't need even to know anything about containers. Just know that there's a term called containers. But now in session 2, so this is how I plan to do my sessions. Today was just to meet and greet. And then next week on Monday, at 3:45, we'll be talking about now introduction to containers. What are containers? So we'll go into the details and even show you, like, I would like to, because this is now, the importance of this bootcamp is not that we give you a lot of theory, we try and make it practical. So we'll actually do everything practically, not like just talking about them. And then now we'll go into a concept of container internals, where I'll just cover now under the hood what really happens with containers. When you send, let's say, a Docker run, what is happening under the hood. So talk a little bit about that. And then I will, on session 4, next Friday. That's when I plan to come to the schools. I hope most of you will be there. We can meet and even chat thereafter. So I'll be now coming to present the project that we're going to do, and now agree on the groups. And maybe a quick one, Doc. Is it the groups already determined or not yet?
They're not yet. So
Okay.
we want to give the students an opportunity to listen to the 4 topics, because we have 4 topics. And then from there, those who feel they want to do a project on containers, they will form their groups then. So we hope to form the groups by November.
I see.
Yeah.
Actually, that's answer is very important to me, because initially I thought they'll do all this, so I was wondering like, wow, this will be too much.
No,
So I was trying to see how I can scope so that they can be able to do all this.
Yeah, they'll only choose one out of the 4 areas.
Oh, I see. That's perfect then. That's really, really perfect. So even this helps me to know even the scope that I can go, because I know we are looking to present in November, right? November.
Yeah, the last week of November.
Week of November. So we're just talking about like a month. Yeah, a month's worth of work, I think will be. But I'm also focusing on the fact that they're not doing this. This is not the only course they're doing, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so guys, I won't stress you. I won't give you a lot of stuff, but
we want you to
it's something that. Sorry.
We want you to stress them, because the life out there is very stressful. We need.
By the way,
our life.
That's true. You guys, I've told you like today, maybe I just slept about 4 hours. So yeah, that's how life is out here. So yeah. Okay. Thank you. Your point taken. Okay. So that's what we'll do. And then I will try and get some more resources. I have this site that I'm a domain name junkie, so I have this cs.ke. I'll create a subsection called containers there, and I'll just be putting there any resources that you want that are open sort of open resources, and or links to resources. The other thing I wanted to find out is, you guys, what do you use for your communication around like campus in your group, within like your cohort? What do you use for communication?
WhatsApp.
Okay, WhatsApp. Okay, what else? That's also along here. Oh, and like for forum, like chatting. Sorry, quick communications. Just WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to suggest. I know some of you know about Discord, right?
Yes.
Can anyone volunteer to set up like a Discord server for us?
Yes, I can.
Who is that? Sorry, I'm not.
Edwin.
Okay, good. Edwin, can you put your email on the chat? I'll just pick it and then we can discuss with you. That's nice. So Edwin is gonna set up, and then he'll know how he'll disseminate that information. He might send the invite links on, maybe most likely on WhatsApp or on email, and then this will just be a good way of communicating. Even Doc, I suggest that we'll use the same forum for now all the other bootcamp courses. So we'll just have channels. So for the guys who are going to choose LLM, they'll be in the LLM channels, and then for the guys containers, they'll be the containerization channel and the rest. I think there have been some Serrano folks. There is that cybersecurity stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was cybersec and all that. Yeah.
So,
that's better.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nanda. So I've seen clearly we'll have to change the slot for 9th October, because I've just been informed we're having the Year 4 project presentations that morning. So maybe we can touch base after this and select a different slot, because clearly we'll be done by 10:45.
No, I was thinking about even this session. I was thinking about the container internals, and actually that session 4. I thought maybe session 4 is too much just to do the project setup.
So we can
session.
So we can kill off the 9th October one, and you
and then exactly, and then I'll combine 3 and 4 on October 11th.
Perfect, works very well.
So let me do that. I'll update the slides. So yeah, with the project, actually what I'll do, I'll make sure I write a good write-up that you can just follow. So you won't really need me to like really walk you through. So you just follow the instructions, and then I'll just be there to pick up any questions. And also I'll be there on the Discord even after during the month. So I'll try to be checking the Discord maybe once in a day to just like answer any questions or anything that have come up.
Okay. So one last question from me. I've gone to that link you gave us for the seat. What was it? That city something with KE.
Oh, this one, yeah.
I'm looking at the session. Could you tell us a little bit about Blackboard? Because I'm seeing very many familiar names. What do you guys do there?
That's a good. Thank you. So okay, let me. Actually, I was wondering about should I do like this? Is a sort of a shameless plug. So I ran this. This is just my own initiative where I get engineers around Kenya. Most times they've been in Kenya or ex-Kenyans. Or the Kenyans, but in a diaspora like Jason. Actually, Jason was at SCI. Some have also sort of been bringing SCI folks. This was an SCI, Sam SCI, Cynthia SCI, Collins SCI. Yeah, so because we were already connected from way back. So I bring them, then they talk about their experiences and also share knowledge about especially this knowledge is really good for people like you who are just getting started in the industry. So this, I'll really highly recommend you going to watch these videos. And then also give me feedback, anything that you think is missing, that could help you in your journey. Let me know, or even if some of you would like to come and actually talk about the beginning, because it's better also to capture how you the guys start, like what are you doing right now, and you can actually counter check and see later on 10 years to come. So if you love to say anything, you have anything to say, let me know. I can host you on this Blackboard. So shameless plug, if you can go to Blackboard here and let me share the link and subscribe, that would be good, because I've been trying to get to 10, 12 subscribers. Maybe this is the day. So let me see. Because how many of you are on this call? Maybe are you like 68?
Yeah.
So if everyone's subscribed, then I just get to 600 or something today. But anyway, that's what I do on the basically just as part of my sort of giving back kind of. But I would like it to be sustainable at some point where it doesn't need me. Actually, I can bring most of you maybe on board. Like some people run some section maybe on LLMs, others are running. You can see this one is so biased towards the stuff that I do, the system programming, but I would like to make it a bit diverse. And also you can see most of the guys here are actually ex-Microsoft or at Microsoft. So I've been having a bias. So I want to make it a bit opened up. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, I think that was actually the thing I wanted to say, that check my YouTube channel. So it was a good segue. And the other one that maybe I forget is this link is not active yet, but I'm going to set up that containers section. But I think I forgot to set up to the GitHub stuff. Yeah, just take you to this landing page. But I set up a slash containers here.
I'm gonna learn.
Yeah, that's all. I see we are 1 minute past time that I thought we'll do. Anybody, I can't. I won't lock you. If you have any burning question, let me know.
So, any questions? Yes, Muhaji.
Okay, mine is unrelated to what you spoke about, but rather about the YouTube channel. So I was thinking of using my social media pages to sort of start putting out tech content. What advice would you give me?
That's actually, sorry, even I forgot to mention that In my project, I had actually a section where I wanted people to, after whatever you've learned, I wanted you to write a blog post, which you can decide to either publish or make it private. So that is really good, Mohaj, because knowing how to write, like basically, let me tell you, I won't shout because maybe some people here, but that you'll be surprised how many software engineers that are really good, but they don't know how to write, how to communicate your thoughts, because that's really important. You can lose on so many opportunities because you don't know how to communicate your thoughts, especially writing. Writing is what now differentiates you from, let's say, at Microsoft here we have levels. So senior is a senior, right? But after senior, there are many other levels above me actually. There's a level called principal, another level called partner. So for you to go now to such levels, you really need to know how to communicate, and especially communicating to different audiences. You know how to switch. If you're talking to executives, you know what kind of detail you should go into. And if you're talking to other engineers, what kind of detail you should go into. So Mohaji, that is a very good thing to do. It will help. It is like you'll be building up that muscle and practicing. And I would like to encourage all of you to do that. Have at least a page somewhere where you just write your thoughts, even if it's 2 pages, 3 pages, three paragraphs. And sometimes I used to go back to what I used to write way back, and I was cringing. But it's when you cringe, it means now you know you've grown. Like I used to go like stuff I used to write when I was younger, and I was looking like, what was I writing? But that's life. So it's really good to write, and you just keep like basically getting better. Edward.
Yes, my question is on containers. Do you think you've said Kubernetes, but Kubernetes is from Google, and for me, I've only like used Docker. I wanted to know, do you think because you said you're a software engineer, do you think the code that you use to create a container is something that's like that can be used in other applications or something like that? I'm not sure how to phrase it, but
no, I get your question. Yeah. No, it's okay. I think I understand your question. So yeah, it's very true. So at the end of the day, the coding is just the same. All these are just sort of like what you call abstractions. I know, but maybe I'm answering before the session. But let me just write that question down, and maybe we can pick it up when I'm doing the introduction. Okay, I'm just writing it down. I won't forget it. So,
okay.
Edward, so we talk about Kubernetes, Docker. What was the difference between all this, and how do you code them? Like we can actually, even the good thing, all these projects are open source. We'll actually go in and open some of the code and read. So the code needs you to understand Go, but because you don't do Go, this is why you see how computer science shines. Because if you've done C, Go, you understand Go. But even just by reading it, you'll know what it's doing. I think syntax changes, but the concepts are the same. So we look into some of the things. Even I will open some of the work myself I have done. Okay, like some of the code I've contributed to Buildkit, especially. That's the project I work on constantly. We'll look at some of the PRs. I explain to you what this is doing, because it's all this is about containers. Okay.
Okay, so for me, I was curious. I just wanted to know if there are other career paths in Microsoft ADC, because most of the career that I usually see is software engineering, which is mostly usually dominant. So I just wanted to know if there are things like cybersecurity, networking.
That's a good question. So yeah, locally we have a few verticals right now, just research, and we have now software engineering. Okay, those are the main. So in research, you'll see people looking for NLP engineers, looking for. I'm not heard about data scientists, but NLP, that's what I've seen. Actually, even there's a job post open right now for NLP engineer, and then software engineering is mostly just web services kind of stuff. There are teams that work on React actually, or front end. So we have a full stack of that. And then for our team, we are among the few teams that work on the Windows kind of system level stuff. But now at Microsoft Global, like Microsoft globally, whether it's teams in India, in the US, we have all the paths, even up to electrical engineers who build like Surface laptops, headphones. We have all like name anything that you can do within the field, UX, whatever, you can get a job post in Microsoft, but not in Kenya. Not yet in Kenya. Maybe if we build up enough sort of inertia, we'll be able to maybe get more those kind of teams setting up shop here.
Okay.
Yeah. Muhalisi.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Mine is kind of a bit out of topic, but maybe you can just elaborate. Being a software engineer at Microsoft, I'm sure you can tell us if you really design, you have a scope of designing all over all the things of all the software products from Microsoft, or you just focus on a specific niche, for example, a mail or something. Now,
for example, sorry, come again. For example,
if you see the scope is very big, there are so many products that are coming from Microsoft. So do you guys like get a team to focus on a specific niche or a specific product, or as a software engineer at Microsoft, you have a scope of you can dive into any niche within the Microsoft scope and maybe develop a product within the Microsoft enterprise? And for example, something else, I was just checking the other day. There's this product that is called WPS. I don't know if you have heard of it.
No. It stands for what? WPS stands for?
WPS is like it's another version of Microsoft Office. It has a Word, Excel, and Publisher and PowerPoint. But now it's a product. I think it came from China, so it's purely offering the same product as Microsoft Office, but it's a bit up to date. It has more features. It's incorporating AI and text, and everything within it is a bit more new. Now, I don't know. Is Microsoft like looking at WPS as a competitor, because they were the only ones who are in that niche of Microsoft having products that are used mostly in the office to do paperwork? So maybe you can just touch on that.
I see. So yeah. So your first question, So your first question on the kind of products we do is it's a bit complex than that in terms of there are many teams. As I told you, like one product, even like let's say Teams, or I don't know which other products Microsoft Office, that they're like Office maybe could have, I can guess maybe could have a team of even 1,000 to 5,000 developers across the world. So at ADC, we just have teams that work on some specific things on those on the stack. So like there's a team actually that I worked on called MSAI that works on indexing of what you call entities. Like so an entity is something like a file is an entity, a person is an entity. So you have to index them for quick searching. So we're working on that kind of technology backend, and then now the front-end teams, they call our APIs to get the data. Like let's say if you're searching like for Edwin or within your enterprise, there could be even 1,000 Edwins, but it will know that you want the Edwin that you worked with yesterday, because there are what you call signals that help with knowing it's called search results relevance. Like which one out of all this, which one is more relevant to in the ranking? Yeah, so those kind of things is some of the teams that work here work on. Other teams, as I told you, some other teams work on the front end, like Teams, SharePoint, some specific, not even everything on SharePoint, just specific things. Then on your question on WPS, Microsoft will always have competition. Everyone is trying to get that market share. So this is a clear competitor because they have an Office suite free, and then they try to integrate it with MS Office. I see they're saying of MS Office compatibility. Yeah, but it's something I don't think that they worry about. You know, because Microsoft has this, because of the enterprise reputation. There's no way like a US government will, for example, buy WPS. So they have their own niche where they know, okay, we work on enterprise. This one might be appealing to a startup that wants to cut on costs. Maybe this is cheaper. Yeah. So in that place now, Microsoft will lose on that revenue. Yeah, but you know, in business, you have to choose like your battles. Like you have to choose your niche, choose your customers. There are places where you don't have to go. You don't have to be everywhere. So now I'm talking. That's not nothing to do with software, but just sort of the business side of things. Yeah. So it's more of like strategy. You decide to choose your specific niche you want to go for. But that was a very good question. All right. More questions are coming. Do you do like another session or for just questions? So you let me like run. I wanted to go for another appointment. But
Yeah,
Roman, maybe, but I can pick that up from Roman, and then we can say, I'm glad to actually pick up your question, and even on Discord we can discuss more on those questions. But I can pick one from Roman, and then Doc, I think I can hand it back to you to close up.
okay, sure. So Roman, go ahead. Yes, you
Yes.
are.
Yes. Mm. Oh, it's a good question. So when I say a team of 1,000 people, I just mean the whole organization. So a team could be, another day to still be a tree sort of structure where we have maybe a VP of engineering has 1,000 people under him. So he has maybe 5, maybe partner engineering managers. Under those 5, there's maybe 2 GEMs. So all this now will trickle down into maybe about a team of 5 to 10. Right? But there could be now 100 teams like those. Yeah. So a team normally at Microsoft doesn't go more than 10. Like when I was a manager, I was managing a team of 7. I've seen a team of 5. A lot than 5, most of them they'll be collapsing to some other team. Yeah, but that's really the structure like. So it's an org structure, just like a tree. The way you have when you have the VC, the DVCs, under those, then we have maybe the faculty heads or the principals of schools and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see that it's still a tree structure, and then it goes up to the lecturers. Okay, good.
All right. Thank you so much, Nanda. Clearly, from the engagement, I think the students have appreciated what you had to share.
Thanks.
And mine also just to thank you so much. We look forward to the next sessions where we do a deep dive into containers. But I think just to highlight, it's interesting to hear that you graduated in 2012. That's like over 12 years ago. Yet you're one student I remember completely. So I think my answer here to as a student, that I think I've said this many times, wherever you find yourself, be present, engage. Like I know how you guys were chosen to join the Nokia Lab by then Dr. Waigasha and Dr. Ora. It's students who are you're active in class, you talk, you network even with the lecturers, and it's not too late even though you're in 4th year. Even as you go to the workplace, be that person who seeks out people who, it's fast, we are human beings, we respond to social vibes, you get. And thank you so much for the nuggets. I've written down quite a number of things that you said. First, you didn't give up. 10 years masters, I don't know how come we didn't kick you out. And then you said learning never stops. And for me, what really struck me is how organized you have always been. Like looking at your folders, I'm like, yeah, in my next life, I think as you are. But the most important thing I've heard you say today, which I've always told all the students I get a chance to speak to, is about communication skills. How you present yourself, how you talk, how you write. That's what makes the difference in terms of how you grow in your career. So let's, as computer scientists, let's not just focus on tech or just coding or just being there in the dark, server room. But remember, whatever you have in your mind is only useful if it's shared with others. So let's work on our ability to just be very logical in how we communicate, how we conceptualize, and how we sell ourselves, you know. So thank you so much about that. And thank you guys. I think this must be one of the most engaging sessions we've had. So I don't know that this means we should stick to online. This has been a very dull class. So I think I'll also do a poll going forward. So Nanda, let us release you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. They said it's the best session yet. So I don't know if you guys are biased because this was your, like, his. But I think, Nanda, you have a gift of talking and sharing very openly. You've always been that way. And
thank you.
Keep at it. You know, by the way, his name was Prof. Nanda when he was in, was it second year? Some of us are still aspiring to become profs. So, and all the best the rest of the day.
All right, thank you.
So we'll meet you next on, that would be on 7th of October at 3:45. It's also going to be
7th, yeah.
isn't it? That's also going to be virtual.
Yeah.
All right. So we can release you. But I want
I appreciate it. And have a good day. And it was nice meeting you, folks. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person on Friday.
All right. Bye, Nanda.
All right, goodbye. Thanks.